Hey Cricketers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kerri. One of the perks about being a YouTuber is that sometimes companies will send you free stuff in exchange for an honest review of their product. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to unbox and set up this brand new heat press by VEVOR. It's an 8-in-1 swing away 15 by 15 inch heat press. If you recently bought this heat press and it's still sitting in the box and you're feeling intimidated and afraid to set it up, I want to let you know that it was really easy. There's basically 2 plugs that you have to plug in to make this thing work. I'm going to walk you through step by step and show you everything that you need to know about how to assemble this heat press. In my next video, we're going to put this heat press to the test and make me a new shirt for the summer using puff vinyl. If you don't want to miss out on that video, make sure you have your notification bell turned on and have subscribed to my channel. I would also appreciate if you hit that thumbs up button, as it really helps my small channel grow on YouTube. With the accessories included in this box, you can make all kinds of different products. You can make hats, t-shirts, mugs, plates, and more. It comes with 3 different size mug presses, so you can make mugs for either a 9-ounce, an 11-ounce, or a 12-ounce cup. This heat press is better than some other ones, such as this one that I have over here, because it uses double tube heating. What this means is that the temperature difference between the center of the heat press and the edge of the heat press will only be about a 5 degrees Celsius difference, where with the single tube heat presses, the temperature difference will be greater than 10 degrees Celsius from the center to the edge. This double tube heat technology will give you a more uniform heat distribution across the heat press. This heat press also has 2 layers of insulation, so the outside of your heat press won't get as hot as the inside. Some heat presses get really hot on the outside, but with this double insulation, it should make it so the outside doesn't get so hot that it can burn you. Heat presses come in 2 different styles, so there's a swing away heat press and a clamshell heat press. I always go for the swing away heat presses because they're a lot safer. With the swing away heat presses, you have room to swing away the hot part of the heat press and then work on the surface without having to burn yourself. Where with the clamshell one, it just lifts up right in front of your face and then you have to work right under it, so the hot part's right in your face. So I think that the swing away options are a lot safer and better. The swing away heat presses also have a more even pressure distribution. Another thing that I love about this heat press is that it has a Teflon sheet built right into the heat press, so you don't have to apply a Teflon sheet when you're making things like shirts. Some basic stats about this heat press that you should know is that it heats up to a maximum of 210 degrees Celsius or 410 degrees Fahrenheit. I also have a temperature gun that I'm going to use today so I can see how accurate these claims are. The plate size is 15 by 15 inches, which I love because it gives you enough room to heat press on large shirts like a 2XL shirt. It uses a regular 110 volt outlet and uses 1,000 watts to heat up. The hat press measures 6 inches by 3 inches curved, and as I mentioned before, there's 3 different mug press attachments. The aluminum pop press measures 16 centimeters. And the plate press fits diameters between 8 and 10 inches. Now let's get to the fun part where we start opening up this box. One important thing to note is that this heat press is really heavy. I couldn't have moved it upstairs without the help of my husband, so I would plan on having 2 people to help you move this once it arrives at your door. This is what it looks like right when I open up the box. So I see there's an instruction book and a whole bunch of different things for us to open. The last thing that I have left in this box is the actual heat press, and it's very heavy. So grab yourself a big strong man like mine and have him help you pick up this super heavy heat press. So this part just slides on right into these little brackets. And now I have to pull out the instruction book because I don't know what to do. This right here comes on and off really easy, and it's pretty much one of the most important parts of the machine.
Call it the control unit.
This is the control unit? Do I actually have to say that?
I don't know. It is. I mean, everything you use to use the machine plugs into that.
I find that so funny. So this right here is the control. So this right here is the control unit. I can't. This is where the magic happens. This right here is the control unit, and it's where everything plugs into. So you'll see right here, there's a little port, and then you find the plug that you want to plug into it. So if you want to make t-shirts, you're going to plug this part right into the front. All of the different attachments have a plug that fits into this hole. So you can see on this attachment, it has this little piece. This is what the attachment plug looks like, and this is what the hole looks like. So you just line it up, and it also has a little notch. I don't know if you can see the little notch, but the notch has to go into there, and you just plug it in, push, and then you twist this into place. On the back of this piece, there's another opening where you plug in the cord that goes into the wall. So it's really simple. You plug in two things, the attachment and then the unit to the wall. We're going to slide this into place. Grab your power cord and take off the little zip tie thing. It's like a bread twist tie. Take off the protective cover. And then plug this into the back and this into the wall. Next, you have to plug in the attachment that you want to use. So I'm going to be using this one, so I need to plug this into this opening. So find where that groove is and line it up. And then slide it all the way in and twist it into place. And you screw it in clockwise. On the side of this control unit is an on-off switch. So make sure you switch it to on. And then you need to adjust the temperature and the amount of time that it heat presses for. There's 4 buttons right here. The top one says plus, then minus, setup, and mode. So to set the temperature, it says that you want to press the setting button, the little gear box, once to set the temperature, and press it again to set the time, and press again to exit. So I'm going to press it once, and it's automatically set to 200. So you press up or down to adjust it to the right temperature. The right temperature will depend on the type of vinyl that you're using. So make sure you check with that brand of vinyl that you're using to make sure that you set it to the right temperature. Some vinyls use different temperatures. So if you're working with a puff vinyl, it might be a higher or lower temperature than if you're working with something like Sizer Easy Weed Heat Transfer Vinyl. So I'll raise my temperature to 295 degrees. This machine is automatically set up to do Celsius and not Fahrenheit. I live in the United States and I'm used to working with Fahrenheit, so I'm going to adjust the machine to Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. To do that, according to this manual, you have to press and hold the plus and the minus button at the same time. So that switched it right over to Fahrenheit, and it's at 199 degrees, slowly heating up. So I'm going to push this gear button again so I can get to the temperature in Fahrenheit. Right now it's set to the maximum at 410 degrees Fahrenheit. I want it to be a lot lower. So push the gear button that says setup. That brings you right to the temperature, and I'm going to lower it all the way to 300. You can press and hold the down button and it makes it move really fast. Or you can click it one by one if you want to adjust the increments slower. Then I can push the setup button again to adjust the amount of time that it heat presses for. So I can push it once and then twice to get to the time. And now I can lower the time. I can lower the time so it's automatically set to 60. I want it to be 20. And then push setup again, and now it's all set up and ready to go. My machine is already beeping because it heated up so fast that it's already above that temperature. It's at 325 degrees. So it's beeping to let me know that it's already hit and exceeded that temperature. My machine says that it's heated up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to test it with this temperature gun to see what this reads. I'm going to swing this to the side and point up from the bottom at the top plate to see what it reads. There's a little laser beam so I can see that I'm right in the center. And I'm just going to leave it there for a moment. According to my temperature gun, we're at about 280 degrees. Let me hold it a little closer. 283. It should be at 300 degrees, so either my temperature gun is not reading correctly, or this is not heating up to 300 degrees. If I come over to my thermostat on the wall, it says it's 76 degrees. So let's see what this reads. This is reading a little bit high, so at 78 degrees, 2 degrees higher. So my heat gun is pretty accurate. It's only 2 degrees off from my thermostat, which means that the heat press is not heating up all the way to 300 degrees. It's about 15 degrees off. So with that in mind, you might want to set the temperature to be a little bit higher. So to adjust the pressure, there's this little knob in the back, and if you tighten it to the right, it makes the plate go lower, so it gives it more pressure. If you want less pressure, so to loosen it, you turn it to the left. I like to have a lot of pressure when I'm using a heat press machine, so that way it squishes the design really tight and it makes it heat press well. Let's go over some final thoughts that I have about this heat press. First, we're going to talk about assembly. It was very simple to put together. The hardest part for me was that it's heavy and I needed another person to help lift it out of the box. I like that the machine heated up really fast and it was very simple to adjust the settings. As far as accuracy goes, it was about 15 degrees off using my heat gun. I think my heat gun was pretty accurate because I tested it out on the wall near my thermostat and it measured pretty much the same temperature. It was like 1 or 2 degrees off. I think it's normal for the heat press to be about 10 degrees off. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's pretty accurate. If you don't already own one of these heat guns, I would definitely recommend buying one. It's really good to make sure that your heat press machine is heating up to the right temperature. So I'll leave a link down below in my video description where you can purchase one. It's definitely a useful accessory to have in your craft room. One thing that I didn't like about this heat press machine is that when it got up to temperature, it started beeping non-stop, really loud. According to the instructions, there is a way to turn this off, so that's not a super big deal. I like that you can adjust the pressure on this heat press machine. One thing that I don't like about my auto heat press is that you can't really adjust the pressure on it. Certain types of vinyl need a lot more pressure, like the puff vinyl, so it's important to be able to adjust the pressure. One thing that the specs said about this heat press machine is that it had double insulation so that the outside doesn't get hot. It said that it shouldn't get hotter than 50 degrees Celsius. Right now my machine is heated up to 250 degrees and the outside isn't hot at all. This would not burn me. So that's a safety feature that I really do like. Some heat press machines get really hot to the touch on the outside and that's not a problem with this one. Now here's the ultimate question. Do I recommend you to buy it? Is it worth the money? So right now it's listed at $269. Normally it's $299. I think that it is a good heat press machine. It heats up fast, it's pretty accurate. You can adjust the time, the temperature, and the pressure. There's really not much more that you can ask for in a heat press. Ultimately, you need to look at your budget and see how much you can afford. There's some heat presses that are better and there's some heat presses that are worse. Take the time to do your research and compare all of the different features on the different heat presses that you're considering buying. I'm looking forward to trying out this heat press a few more times on some of my future projects. Thank you to VEVOR for sending me this heat press and allowing me to test it out on my YouTube channel. If you want to purchase this 8-in-1 swing away heat press by VEVOR, I will have a link down below in my video description where you can find it on Amazon.